Surely goodness and mercy follow, and love will be leading the way. Every shadow will shine in the fullness of time and bloom in the hearts of the brave. Be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. All shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. All manner of things shall be well. We are awakening to the calling of the mystic, awakening in the flowering of the heart. Everybody here melting into presence, overflowing effervescence, rising in love. We are awakening to a long forgotten memory. Dawn is breaking, waves are coming in, and everybody here standing in wonder beneath the rain and the thunder, rising in love. Shanti Satchidananda. Om Shanti. Om. Sing together. Om Shanti Satchidananda. Om Shanti. Shanti Satchidananda. Om Shanti. Shanti Satchidananda. Om Shanti Satchidananda. Shanti. Men, sing that with me. We are awakening. We are awakening. Awakening. We are awakening. Now the women with David. We are awakening. And bring the voices together. We are awakening. We are awakening. We are awakening. Awakening. We are awakening. We are awakening. 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 We are awakening. We are awakening. We are awakening.
I'm grateful to the mountains for reminding me I'm small and showing me the way to hold my head up tall. I'm humble before nature, painting picture perfect scenes on this canvas that we live in and is constantly changing. And I love this world, this world. I love this whole wide world. I'm grateful to the paper and the pen with which I write, for being midwife to my thoughts, bringing them to life. I'm humbled by the muses they've given me, the songs that have helped me through my days and made my nights seem not so long. I love this world, this world. I love this whole wide world. I'm grateful to my parents for bringing me to earth, my family, friends, and lovers for showing me what my life is worth. I'm humbled 'cause it's all we ever have. And the power that's within it can give us peace. Peace and I'm lonely and I'm tired and I'm giving up the fight in my head. And I'm grounded and I'm surrounded by the beauty I know I'll forget. So please this time, oh God, this time, oh this time, please let me remember it. Jeff Buckley is on the radio, showing me the way out of the past. And now I see you.
Good morning. Well, I was reading my old journal, took me back to a time when everything was closing in. It felt like darkness all around, and I wrote it all down, and this is what it said. We got a long way to go to get through this tunnel, got some hard work to do to get things right. It's such a long way to go to get through this tunnel, but at least I finally see some light. Oh, I think I finally see some light. We were full of frustration, we were driven by fear, we were searching for some sanity. Well, we were paralyzed with worry, found no comfort there, had to open our eyes and see. We got a long way to go to get through this tunnel, got some hard work to do to get things right. It's such a long way to go to get through this tunnel, but at least I finally see some light. Oh, I think I finally see some light. Well, sometimes you gotta look back to see where you have been, to figure out just where you are. 'Cause in the middle of the tunnel, it's easy to forget that we've come this far. We got a long way to go to get through this tunnel, got some hard work to do to get things right. It's such a long way to go to get through this tunnel, but at least I finally see some light. Oh, I think I finally see some light. Oh, I know it's gonna be all right.
Joy. Let us sing. Okay, that's right. It's very true.
Welcome this morning. It's feels pretty strange to be here, actually. Back again in somewhat of an isolated mode with no one in front of us here. We hope that you are all safe and warm and are able to be with us and feel the energy. So we are, yes, and I forgot to say the where we celebrate a world of harmony, peace, and abundance for all. Thank you, Bonnie.
No.
Yeah, that felt good.
That's what I'm talking about. Oh. All right. Let's sing another one. My ponytail almost fell out. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All around this world, I'm gonna let it shine. All around this world, I'm gonna let it shine. All around this world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Every song I sing, I'm gonna let it shine. Let
So we come into a time of prayer. I invite you from wherever you are watching this to allow yourself to take a deep cleansing breath, to gently close your eyes, allow yourself to turn within, to come to that still, silent place within. Sweet Spirit, we've had quite a couple weeks here at Columbine. And we know that you are here in the midst of all of this, of all of our human challenges, of everything that has happened, will happen. You are here. Spirit is here. And so we acknowledge that truth, that we are centered in Spirit, that Spirit is centered in us, in each one of us. And that no matter what is going on in our lives, no matter what circumstance we find ourselves in, that there is this inner strength within us, this inner power within us of life that will always long to emerge through us and as us, to carry on, to continue, to let that light shine. That light that is always, always lit from within. That divine part of ourselves never gives up. And so we're grateful, Spirit, for whenever we can allow ourselves to go back to that truth, to become aware of that, knowing that you are here, that we are you and you are us. We hold in our hearts that are ever expanding, especially during challenging times such as these, expanding to hold anyone who is suffering right now, anyone who has lost a home, anyone who is finding themselves sick from COVID or any other disease, any other health challenge, any home challenge, any displacement. We hold in this circle of love, in this trust, that all will be okay, that all is okay, that all is all right. And in this love, in this loving place, we hold all our first responders, we hold the firefighters, we hold the police force, we hold everyone that helped members of this community to get to safety the other day. All those that opened up their homes. We hold it all with love, with gratitude, with appreciation, with compassion. And so we thank you, Spirit, for allowing us to know that our hearts can continue to expand, that we can hold this space, that we are divine beings, having a human experience that is sometimes really challenging. But this too shall pass. So we thank you, sweet Spirit, for this truth, that we are divine beings, that we have this power within us. And so I want to invite you into a time of meditation, a time where we take this truth in and allow it to permeate our being, allow it to go into every crevice of our consciousness, to know that we are spiritual beings, that we have the capacity and the resiliency and the love enough for all. Let's rest with that knowing in the silence together.
Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. 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 I spent some time walking outside. The mountain air is good for my mind. On the days I'm feeling more confused and need some help to make it through, remind me that everything is gonna be all alright. It's gonna be alright. Dark is only dark until there's light. Like the stars that shine through the night. Or when the clouds are gone, the rain is done, and leaves behind the warmth of sun. Reminds me everything is gonna be alright. Will be alright. And I'm not the first one to say, but I'm gonna sing it anyway. Yeah. And everything is gonna be alright. Everything is gonna Take my hand, together we will stand. And if one should fall, we'll carry on for all. It will be alright. Be alright. Be
Yeah, it's going to be all right. Thank you to the Larsons for being here today, for filling in for Janice as she continues to recover from COVID. We are grateful to all of you for being here. Larry, too. Thank you, guys. You know, if you looked at the digital bulletin this morning, you might have seen that it said my talk title was An Untitled Talk, and you might have thought, oh, Sue didn't pick a title yet. That is not true. That is the title of the talk. It's interesting that today's daily word was clarity, because I've had anything but clarity these last couple weeks. It's been quite a challenge.
Your earring is bouncing up against the mic.
My earring is bouncing on the mic. Okay. Thank you.
Sorry to interrupt.
Hopefully that's better. So, where was I? An untitled talk. Yeah, there are times when we need to just step back. Be in that place of unknowing and let it be okay. Allow some space. Allow the clarity to come when it will come, when we are ready, when we are willing to listen to whatever Spirit's going to tell us. Allow Spirit to fill that space. These last couple weeks have been really challenging for our community. We've had several cases of COVID come through during our rehearsal for Christmas Eve. We had our in-person services. Christmas Eve we did just virtually, not what any of us wanted. But we had to make adjustments to keep the majority of you healthy and safe. Then, of course, Thursday's devastating news with the fires that roared through our community. So many homes lost. It's heartbreaking. Nearly 1,000 homes burnt down, people displaced. And our hearts grieve with you, mourn with you. Of life or injury. That people followed that guidance, at which the fires went through Boulder County, Louisville, and Superior in particular, was incredible. And yet, most people are safe, if maybe not with not to return to Herod as he had instructed, but to follow a different path. As so often we are guided to follow a different path once we share our gifts. It changes us when we share from the heart. And in our wisdom, we realize this. And so that's where we had left you on Christmas Eve. And not long after that, the story continues with Joseph being given a vision in a dream that it says the angel Gabriel came to him. Gabriel was very busy during these last few months, during this time, sending messages, not only to the wise men, but to Joseph, to Zechariah. And of course, angels are those messengers from spirit, not outside of ourselves, but within. Those messages that come to us, that guidance that come to us, that we recognize as spirit speaking. And so Gabriel comes to Joseph in his dreams, which he often does, which is often the case for Joseph. In a dream, he has these visions. And the angel Gabriel says to take Jesus and Mary and flee to Egypt. That Herod is on the warpath. Herod is wanting to kill all the newborn babies, all the baby boys. And so go to Egypt. Take them in, and he does immediately, puts Mary and Jesus on the donkey, and they go to Egypt to safety. And Herod, in his rage, doesn't know where exactly this baby is, where this Jesus, but he recognizes that Jesus is a threat to him, to his power, to his reign. And so he orders all baby boys 2 years or younger, because he doesn't know exactly when Jesus was born either. He orders all baby boys 2 years or younger to be slaughtered. Now, it's interesting that there's no record of this. Bible scholars say there's no record of this happening. We don't know if it happened or not. It's something Herod could have done. He was that type of personality in his time. Violent, controlling, angry. But we want to look at these stories. There's another scholar who says that these things were put into the scriptures so that we would look for the deeper meaning. That it's so horrific that something like that would happen that we can't even wrap our minds around it. And so we want to look for the deeper meaning. What happens when we're threatened with physical harm is we want to flee. We want to go to safety. And Joseph is guided to bring his family to safety, just as so many who were in the line of the fires on Thursday were guided to go to safety, to flee your home. And the family went to, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph went to Egypt. Egypt representing the subconscious, or representing sense consciousness, where our patterns are. Metaphysically, we could interpret this, you can interpret this as getting back to basics. When we are threatened with bodily harm, we want to get back to basics. We go into protection mode. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. And that's what Joseph did with his family. Get to a place of safety. Go to Egypt. Because Herod, in his rage, and our egos, when they feel threatened, will want to destroy any new ideas, any new thoughts, anything that might take us out of our comfortable ways. So Herod maybe slaughtered all these babies, maybe didn't. We don't know. But it represents that part of ourselves that is capable of that. We don't want to let Herod be king. We want to dethrone Herod. And Herod doesn't live much longer after this. He's done his worst. But he could never kill that baby Jesus. Just as a birth of a new awareness, that the awareness of our Christ nature can never be really destroyed. Once it's really born and protected and fed, that part of us becomes part of us, where it's safe. It's who we are. And so in this part of A Trip to Bethlehem, Hypatia talks about the power of zeal. Seems like a strange power to talk about during this time. But zeal is our ability to have an energy around something, to get enthusiastic. It motivates us. When we get spiritual guidance, we are motivated. When we know it's guidance, when we know it without question, as Joseph knew it, we have a new energy about us. We know what to do. We know how to be. And that gives us some enthusiasm to take right action. On December 26th, the Archbishop Desmond Tutu passed away. He was an amazing, amazing human being who was an activist and fought against apartheid in South Africa. He always looked for good, and he stayed positive. He's known for that, for his humor, for his positivity, for his unwillingness to give up. We lost a great human being that day, but his contributions to society will never die. He signed our peace quilt. I don't know if you know that we have a peace quilt. There's a picture of it coming up on your screens. The peace quilt that women of Columbine made, and I think it was finished in 2001. And there's 50 signatures on there of people who are peacemakers, and Desmond Tutu was one of them who signed this peace quilt. It's in our conference room if you're ever here, and when we open back up, and you're welcome to take a look at it. It's a reminder of the good that we can do, of the good that we can do in our own worlds, in our own way. It doesn't mean we have to be someone big personality as Desmond Tutu was, but in our own worlds. Do what our guidance is telling us to do. Show up as we're being asked to show up. Desmond Tutu said this: hope is being able to see that there is light despite all the darkness. There is light. We've had a lot of darkness in our community recently. But it doesn't mean that we have to let it consume us. Anyone who was displaced or lost their home or is challenged due to health or has gotten a challenging, difficult diagnosis, we don't have to stay in that place. We can have hope. As Tutu says, have hope knowing that there's still light in this, that something is happening through us instead of to us. Last week I had an appointment with my oncologist. Many of you know that I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2017. And it will be 5 years in May. And typically, when you have a cancer diagnosis, you see an oncologist afterwards for a number of years, for the 5 years. Well, my oncologist is leaving the practice where he's working, so he released me from oncology. It's a few months early. But I felt like celebrating, being released from this thing that was hanging over my head. He didn't release me without giving me lots of warnings, lots of cautions. Take care of yourself, eat well, continue to exercise, maintain your weight, all the things that he saw as helping to prevent cancer from returning. It can be so easy when we get a diagnosis like that, or when we lose our homes, or when we are displaced and flee, run for cover, to say, why? Why me? Why did this happen to me? Why is this happening now? Where is God in all this? And the answer to the why me is, I don't know. We don't know. We may never know in this lifetime why things happen. But things happen. And where is God in all this? Where is Spirit? Where is that life? Life with a capital L is right there. Right there in the midst of it. Not causing things to happen, but being there when things happen to ground us, to help us, to see that there is love in spite of these challenges, to help us grow through these experiences, whether we label them good or bad, because we're the ones that decide whether something is good or bad, what meaning we're going to give it. If we allow ourselves to see the big picture, which is really hard when we're in the middle of something, we can see that this too wasn't meant to happen to us, but for us, for our growth. Life's a great mystery. There will be challenges. There's no question. But how do we want to show up? Who do we want to be going forward? And it doesn't take away the hurt. It doesn't take away the pain. It doesn't take away the anger. Let yourself feel all of that. Because until you can allow that is your wholeness, you can't heal. You need to feel all of it. Whatever it is. We are fully human in our full divinity. And that means all the emotions that come with being human. But the fullness of our potential, the potential that is within each of us, is always there. We don't want to be part-time children of God. We are full-time children of God, but we only part-time, part of the time, recognize that or allow ourselves to be all that we came here to be. It doesn't mean being comfortable. It means stepping out of that comfort to be full-time children of God. Jesus didn't say, make your light shine. You can't make your light shine. You can only allow it to shine. You can only let it shine. Let it shine. That light is always there. Always there. No matter what or how hard the circumstances are that we're facing. I am filled with the Spirit of God. I am filled with the Spirit of God. Let that be your mantra. Let that power of zeal come through you. Be enthusiastic, be motivated by having a full heart, by allowing your heart and your compassion to expand. There was a little girl who was playing next to a church, and she kept going in and out of the church. Every once in a while, she'd stop her play and go into the church, come back out and start playing again. And her mother, who noticed this, asked the little girl, why do you keep going into the church? What are you doing? And she said, I'm stopping to see if God has anything to say to me. We need to pause to listen to what Spirit may be trying to say to us, to whatever that guidance is, as Joseph did, and then take action on it, as Joseph did. God might have something important to say to you in this time. Go back about 400 years in the Hebrew Scriptures, and there's a prophet named Nehemiah. And Nehemiah was really a servant. He was the cupbearer for the king of Persia. And Nehemiah had some guidance that he was to go to Jerusalem and rebuild the wall around the city. He had the blessing of the king. He told the king, this is what I'm hearing, this is what I feel I need to do. And the king said, let me give you people to help you. Let me give you funds to help you. Let me give you the food. And he was very supportive. And so Nehemiah went to the city and rebuilt the walls around Jerusalem. Now, we're not talking about building walls, physical walls. In that time, in those ancient times, building the wall was to protect them from their enemies. Now, but we want to look at this metaphysically. What is the meaning for us today? It's not to build walls. It's because walls will limit us. We want to look at in consciousness is more of a defense. Build up your defense against losing your peace of mind. Jerusalem represents peace, a place of peace. And so we want to defend those thoughts that will come in and try to take away our peace of mind. Nehemiah represents this ability to do just that, to build up our souls, to build up our defenses, to maintain peace. Rebuild our character. We want to live into our potential. And Nehemiah, by listening to his guidance, did that. And was filled with zeal. It says that he got the project done in 52 days, which is incredible in that time. Was it Charles Fillmore says, I fairly sizzle with zeal in getting to do those things that are mine to do. When he was, 90? Something like that. Use that power of zeal to motivate you to have that guidance. You know, in the book of Revelation, which is, if we look at it literally, it's a lot of doom and gloom and terrible destruction. But in the final chapter of the book of Revelation is the word come. Come. It's an invitation for us that, yes, life is going to be challenging, but come. Come and live through it. Overcome it. That's what a new year can bring for us, this ability to see the potential, an invitation to start again, if we allow it. We have to allow it. We have to give it space. There was this little funny thing going around. I don't know who wrote it. I don't know where it came from, but it's very clever, and I just want to share it with you about the new year. Good morning and welcome to Flight 2022. We are prepared to take off into the new year. Please make sure your positive attitude and gratitude are secured and locked in the upright position. All self-destruct devices, pity, anger, selfishness, pride, and resentment should be turned off at this time. All negativity, hurt, and discouragement should be put away. Should you lose your positive attitude under pressure during this flight, reach up and pull down a prayer. Prayers will automatically be activated by faith. Once your faith is activated, you can assist other passengers who are of little faith. There will be no baggage allowed on this flight. God, our captain, has cleared us for takeoff. Destination, greatness. Wishing you a new year filled with new hope, new joy, and new beginnings. Stay blessed and welcome in 2022. Such a great positive statement. Good way of looking at this new year. We have a new year in front of us. We have a blank slate, an untitled talk, a chance to start again. Next week, we'll be having our white stone ceremony where we choose a new name for ourselves and set an intention for the year. Will you make space for it? Will you allow it? Will you allow yourself to be a full-time child of God? Keep going back to that church and see if God has anything to say to you. Keep going back. What it means is to pause. Will you do that? Are you willing to pause? To listen to that guidance for this new year, to live into your potential. It's up to each of us to dethrone Herod and allow the new awareness of our divine self to flourish. Are you up for that challenge? I want to leave you with just half of Amanda Gorman's poem that she wrote called New Year's Day Lyric. It's such a beautiful poem she wrote. It's meant to honor the hardships so many endured during 2021 and also look to the potential 2022 brings. I don't have it for the screen, but we'll list the whole poem in this update on Thursday. May this be the day we come together. Mourning, we come to mend. Withered, we come to weather. Torn, we come to tend. Battered, we come to better. Tethered by this year of yearning, we are learning that though we weren't ready for this, we have been readied by it. Steadily, we vow that no matter how we are weighed down, we must always pave a way forward. This hope is our door, our portal. Even if we never get back to normal, someday we can venture beyond it to leave the unknown and take the first steps. So let us not return what was normal, but return towards what is next. What is next for each of us? It's up to us to decide that, how we want to be, who we want to be, and how we want 2022 to be a year of new beginnings and new potential for each one of us. Happy New Year. I'm going to invite the Larson family back up for some more wonderfully inspiring, beautiful music.
Feel free to sing along at home. Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow. But if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on.
Please swallow your pride. If I have things you need to borrow for, no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show.
Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lead. Just call on me. Just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean Just call me when you need him. Call me. Oh, baby, now. When you need a friend. Oh, now, baby, now. When you need, call me. Oh, call me. Call me.
Perfect. Just perfect. So this is the time in our service where we gladly accept your gifts back to us. On the screen is our text to give number. You can go to our website. Of course, you can always mail checks into us, but we are so appreciative of your willingness to financially support this community. We have an offertory blessing that we like to say each Sunday, and I'd like to invite you to join me. God's love has always met and will always meet all my needs. I give freely, I receive abundantly, and I am grateful. And so it is. We have some community news to take you through, and I'd like to start out with just an update on the fire's impact on our community. We have at least identified so far 4 families who have lost their homes who are associated with our community. I really have felt blessed as the person receiving your communication. Lots of zeal going on, lots of you reaching out, offering rooms in your homes, offering support. And I must say that no one right now in our community is in need of housing or in need of actually anything else. I think it's a little too close to the event. And one thing that I will say is there's been requests for finding a long-term rental, a furnished rental. And I hadn't thought about that, but that's going to be a big issue. So I've already been informed of one long-term rental available, and you could be helpful to us if you know of others. We will keep you appraised of what's going on. As you know, there's a lot of upset in the field here around us, and so continuing to hold that space of prayer, a loving, supportive, calm presence, moving to Jerusalem, if you will, supports us moving through this situation in a beautiful way. Our website. If you are with us today and not already on our mailing list and interested in us and our message, we would love to have you go onto our website, columbineunity.org, and there you can sign up to be on our mailing list. You can also reach out to us. We'd be happy to be in contact with you, so go and explore the website. That's a great way to connect. We have a men's group starting on January 12th, if I'm reading that right. You know, one thing I've noticed is getting older is a little challenging on reading the screens at Columbine. But we would love to have you be a part of this new men's group that's starting up. And again, you can find more information on it on our website. I'm starting an inquiry class on the 18th. It's an evening class. It'll be entirely done by Zoom. And would love to have you be a part of that also. Again, information on the website. We have saved the date for a few things. We're doing a Unity Basics class if you're interested in learning more about Unity, more about Columbine, and maybe even stepping into the road of being a voting member of our community. We have a Prosperity Plus class coming up. And there's a Course in Miracles group starting. So a lot going on, and we want you to know and be invited into that with us. Sue's going to be starting a group, and I should be having you speak about it, Sue. Simple Sustenance. Coming soon. Okay, good. And it's an important day to talk maybe about our prayer chaplains. We have a incredibly dedicated group of people that are trained in holding space and holding sacred space and holding prayer. They're usually here with us in the sanctuary and available, but since we're working virtually, we wanted to just remind you, you can always call your prayer chaplain, and if they're not available in the moment, they will get back to you. If you don't have a prayer chaplain or you can't remember how to get a hold of your prayer chaplain, you can go to the digital bulletin that you're emailed each Sunday, and as you open it and scroll down, there's a place for filling out a form to be in contact with a prayer chaplain. And if you mark that you want them to come to reach back out to you, they will. If you aren't on our mailing list, just go to our website and look for the digital program and the digital bulletin, and you can come down and be in contact again with the prayer chaplains through that. We want everyone to understand that here at Columbine, we're holding all of you in prayer, and that we offer a specific personal prayer for you, simply for the asking. So don't hesitate to reach out. I think that's it. So let's sing together, shall we? The peace song.
Peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And so it is. Amen.
Lean on me when you're not strong.